Hey guys, it's Janai. Welcome back to my channel. So today I have a kind of like a craft with me / tutorial on how to make this like tiered tassel. I actually ordered some of these on AliExpress and I haven't received them yet, and I thought in the meantime that I would try to make some. I did actually start a mini version, and then as you can see, my 1-year-old got a hold of it and pulled some strings out. So, but look at the difference. Huge difference. But anyways, if you want to make this, then you will need 3 sets of embroidery thread in whatever colors that you want. You'll need a pair of scissors. I'm using fabric scissors. And then you also can use like a large eye needle. I think this is an upholstery needle. I'm not sure, but I actually find it easier when making these to use a split needle. See how the needle splits? These are my favorite. I use them all the time. And then that's pretty much it, you guys. And so basically you want to figure out the orientation of your tassel, and I think I want mine to go like that peachy color, and then the light pink, and then like this brighter pink, like so. And so I'm going to start on just assembling the tassels, and then I will be back. Okay, so I went ahead and I put together the 2 tassels. They're not, you know, the same length, but we will take care of that. Just in case you haven't seen making a tassel, we'll just go ahead and create one. I think most of us have made a tassel before, but just in case. So I undo some of the embroidery thread in order to, this piece right here is actually the piece that wraps around to create like the little head. And then this piece right here is the one that we will be stringing, that's like right here, that will be where you were looping it. And so what you're going to do is you have your string, and this one is actually way too long, but that's okay. So you have your string, and then you're going to place your embroidery thread directly in the center, and then you're going to tie a knot. And I would highly recommend that you double knot it, just to be on the safe side. You don't want this to come apart after you've completed it. And normally when I would make a tassel, I would make sure that both sides are like relatively even, but for the purpose of this, because we will be trimming it down, I'm not going to worry about that too much. So you need to tie and make the little head portion right here. And I have found that when you keep the thread closer to the top of it, it doesn't get a hole. The holes on the side are not as large. And then just cinch it down really good, and then put a double knot. And then this is the one that will actually be visible, so you do want this one to look, you know, the nicest of all of the tassels that you create as far as the head goes, because the others will not be exposed. Okay. And then, so for this one, I kind of made it, it looks like this is probably, I'll get out a measuring my ruler. It looks like that this one is like right around 2 inches from the bottom to the top of the head. And that's probably about the size that I'm going to make again. I just kind of like flatten it down and then eyeball it. I think right there is probably a good length. And I use fabric scissors just because I find that they cut a lot better. And then what you want to do is you want to make sure that these are pretty much all the same length. And so you're just going to trim all of the rest of these so that they are. Trim whatever you need to trim now, because once you assemble this, it's a little too difficult to actually trim it. So I think those are pretty close, but this one's kind of jaggedy. And a lot of times I think it's easier if you just kind of smooth it up, and then just give it like a little bit of a haircut. I cut off camera so I didn't have like little pieces floating around. Okay, so then you're gonna do the same process to the third one. And normally when you make a tassel, you would cut the loops at the end, but since you're shortening this so much, you won't have to worry about that. Okay, so this one I know that I need to trim up a little bit more, but I want to check the length, and I think that that looks pretty good. So I'm just going to go ahead and trim and make sure it's not all crazy. Okay. And so that is the way that I want it. So essentially this one will be sitting on top of this one, and then like so. So you're going to start with your bottom tassel, and you can, like I mentioned, you can use an upholstery needle, or you could use these split rings or split needle. And I believe these are actually for beading, but this is what I use when I make tassels. I just think that it's a lot easier than trying to put thread through a small little hole on a needle. Even like the larger needle holes, I have some of those too, and then sometimes the needle itself is too large and you can't pull beads through. Okay, so then what you're going to do is you're going to take the next color that you want in the middle, and you're going to kind of like separate all of these bits until you find the middle. And it doesn't really have to be precise, but if you have like the majority of the thread on one end, then part of your other tassel won't be covered as much. So then when you like set it down, it should kind of look like a little octopus. I think that that's pretty good right there. And then you're just going to take your needle and you're going to put it in. Oops. And then you're going to try to stick it directly up through the center like so. And then you're just going to gently pull this through. Oops. Okay, and so then you want to kind of, this got a little bit funky. I pulled some of from the other side. It's kind of like you're just layering little mini octopuses on top of each other. That's what they remind me of, like before you actually, when you like set it down. And then what I do is I take one strand from each of the colors, and then I'm going to tie those together so that you're essentially just securing two tassels together. Okay, and so then after you tie the knot, you're left with this. You could do 2 tiers if you want, and I think that actually looks really pretty as well, but I want to go ahead and do the 3rd tier. I don't think that having both of these 2-strand pieces is necessary, and it does just kind of add bulk when you're using the needle, because the only downside to these needles is that sometimes with embroidery thread, it gets kind of, I don't know, it kind of like balls up the thread if you're not careful. So I'm just going to remove any excess bulk, and then you're just going to do the same thing. You're going to slip this through. Okay, so then you have your 3rd tassel, and this is going to be your final tassel if you want to do the 3-tier, and if you wanted to do more, you could, or you could do the 2-tier. So again, you're just going to separate these, making sure that you know that it's relatively even, and in the center, and then all you're going to do is stick it through the center. And this is where you kind of want to be careful. And then see how it went directly through the center again. So you just pull it up. Okay, so then once you get it through the top, you are going to just simply tie a knot to secure it. And definitely, again, you want to do a double knot. I didn't get mine exactly centered. This little needle that I was using, like I said, one of the downfalls is that sometimes it kind of frays. So I decided to use this larger needle, which is fine. And then you're just going to poke this through. I'm trying to do this on camera too and see at the same time. So you're just going to poke that through like so, and then you're just going to feed these little ends into it. My embroidery thread is from this like Melanie pink one. This one right here is from AliExpress, and it's definitely not as good as like the ones that you can get from like Michael's or even on Amazon. I just noticed that it frays a lot more, it seems like. So again, just pull this through. And then once you get this pulled through, I like to actually tie it again just to make sure it's not going anywhere. But you still have this long piece that's right here, and if you wanted to right now, you could add a jump ring. I think I'm just going to leave mine with strings at the end so that when my recipient receives it, she can add beads if she likes, because there's enough of the thread left, or you know, she can do whatever she wants to do. I want to make it to where she can use it for her projects and whatnot. But yeah, you guys, so that is the completed project. This one right here got so funky. And like I said, this makes it more difficult when you're trimming it at the end. I'm sorry this video is kind of all over the place. But there is your little 3-tiered tassel, and I think that they're so cute. They're so cute. Anyways, let me know what you guys think, and if you make them, I'd love to see like your interpretation on them. Like I said, you could definitely add some beads. You could just add a jump ring so you can string something. Even right now, you could use the thread that's around right here and string a couple simple charms or what have you. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, you guys, and I will catch you guys on the next video. Bye.